possible. This is the story of the Macklin twins, two brothers who faced life's challenges head-on and discovered that sometimes the only way forward is through change. Born into circumstances that could have defined them forever, the Macklin twins shared not just a bond by blood, but also a common struggle. Their lives were filled with hurdles, some imposed by their surroundings, others by their own self-doubt. Yet, in the midst of it all, they dreamed of something bigger, a life that wasn't limited by their situation. A future where they could rise above everything holding them back. But dreams alone don't change lives. They were stuck, trapped in a cycle of mediocrity and fear of failure. Something had to give. And it did. One moment, one decision changed everything. Their story is one of resilience, determination, and the undeniable power of transformation. In this video, we're diving deep into the journey of the Macklin twins. You'll learn about the pivotal moment that forced them to confront their reality and the bold steps they took to rewrite their story. You'll uncover how they turned setbacks into stepping stones, overcame self-doubt, and built a life that seemed impossible at first. Along the way, we'll explore lessons that could inspire you to look at your own life differently. This isn't just another motivational story. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that no matter how stuck you feel right now, change is possible. If you've ever felt like the odds were stacked against you, like your dreams were just too far out of reach, then this video is for you. Stay with us till the end to discover the keys to unlocking your own potential and taking the first steps toward your transformation. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you powerful stories that inspire and motivate. If you're ready to make a change in your own life, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Let's get started. XYZ. The Macklin twins, Jake and Jordan, grew up in a small, close-knit town where opportunities were limited and dreams often seemed out of reach. Their family lived modestly, making ends meet but rarely having room for anything beyond the basics. From a young age, the twins were inseparable. Not just because they shared the same blood, but because they shared a vision. They dreamed of something bigger. Something that could take them beyond the confines of their small town and give them a life filled with purpose and meaning. But life wasn't easy. They faced struggles at every turn. Their school days were marked by challenges, from financial hardships that made it difficult to participate in extracurricular activities, to the weight of expectations from those around them. People often dismissed their dreams as childish fantasies, urging them to focus on practical paths. These words lingered in their minds, fueling doubts about whether they were truly capable of achieving something extraordinary. As they grew older, their challenges only deepened. They tried their best to move forward, taking small jobs, saving what little they could. But the more they pushed, the more it felt like life was pushing back. Jake and Jordan began to feel trapped in a cycle of working just to survive, with no clear way out. They watched others in their town give up on their dreams, settling for the status quo, and for a time it seemed like the twins might do the same. Then came the breaking point, a moment that would change everything. It wasn't a dramatic event, but a quiet realization. One evening, sitting together after yet another long day of work, they found themselves talking about the future. It hit them like a wave. If they didn't do something now, their lives would remain exactly the same. They would spend their days wondering what if, instead of living the life they knew they were meant for. Jake looked at Jordan and said, "We can't keep doing this. We have to change." That simple statement became the spark they needed. For the first time, they began to see their struggles not as barriers, but as lessons. They realized that their bond as brothers, their shared determination, and their dreams could be the foundation for something greater. It wasn't going to be easy, but they knew deep down that staying the same wasn't an option anymore. From that moment on, everything started to shift. It wasn't overnight, and it wasn't perfect, but it was a beginning. They decided that no matter what, they would find a way to turn their vision into reality. This was the moment they chose to rewrite their story. The pivotal moment for the Macklin twins came on a day they would never forget. Jake and Jordan had been working tirelessly on a small project they hoped would be their first real step toward something bigger. It was a bold idea, a way to use their skills and creativity to break free from the routine that had kept them stuck for so long. They poured their time, energy, and every dollar they had saved into this venture, believing it was their shot at turning things around. Jake was the first to speak, his voice steady despite the pain. "This doesn't have to be the end. We can either let this define us, or use it to push harder." Jordan nodded, and for the first time that night, they saw a glimmer of hope. It wasn't about avoiding failure anymore. It was about learning how to rise from it. That realization sparked a determination they hadn't felt before. They decided to go back to the drawing board, but this time with a different mindset. They began researching, reaching out to mentors, and learning from people who had overcome similar struggles. Instead of running from their failure, they dissected it, using it as a roadmap to guide their next steps. It wasn't just about rebuilding their project, it was about rebuilding themselves. This moment became the turning point in their journey, not because their circumstances changed overnight, but because they changed. Their mindset shifted from one of fear and doubt to one of resilience and focus. They were no longer afraid of falling, they were determined to keep getting back. With their new mindset, the Macklin twins knew they had to act differently if they wanted different results. Their first step was committing to discipline. They created a schedule that prioritized their goals, carving out time each day to work on their skills and ideas. Waking up earlier, cutting out distractions, and sticking to their plan became non-negotiable. It wasn't easy. There were days when the weight of their responsibilities felt crushing, but they reminded each other why they started. Seeking knowledge was another turning point. They realized that their lack of direction stemmed from not knowing what they didn't know. Instead of guessing their way forward, they began reading books, watching tutorials, and attending free workshops. Jake became obsessed with understanding strategy, while Jordan focused on mastering execution. They also reached out to people who had succeeded in areas they aspired to grow in, absorbing advice and lessons from those with real experience. Through it all, their bond became their greatest strength. Whenever one felt discouraged, the other was there to lift them up. They made a pact. No matter how tough things got, they wouldn't let each other quit. On nights when they felt like their efforts weren't paying off, they'd sit together and talk about how far they'd already come. It was those quiet moments of support that kept them moving forward. But the journey wasn't without challenges. They faced financial setbacks, moments of self-doubt, and external criticism from people who still didn't believe in their vision. There were times when they felt stretched to their limits, juggling their day jobs while working on their dreams late into the night. Yet, they refused to let the obstacles define them. They learned to embrace failure as part of the process, treating every misstep as an opportunity to learn and grow. One of the most valuable lessons they discovered was the power of consistency. They realized that massive change doesn't happen overnight. It's built through small, consistent actions taken every single day. Whether it was dedicating an hour to learning something new or tackling one task at a time, those efforts began to compound. For your health and wellness, and your ability to be more active in your life, they also came to see failure in a new light. Instead of fearing it, they started to respect it. Each failure became a teacher, showing them what didn't work and helping them refine their approach. They learned that failing wasn't a sign to stop. It was a sign to adjust and keep going. Slowly but surely, their efforts began to bear fruit. The small steps they had been taking started to create momentum. It wasn't just about achieving external success. It was about becoming the kind of people who could overcome any challenge. The results of the Macklin twins' relentless dedication began to show, not in a sudden, dramatic way, but through a steady transformation that became impossible to ignore. The small steps they had taken every day started to add up, leading to achievements that once seemed out of reach. Their venture, which had failed so spectacularly before, was reborn. This time with a solid foundation and clear direction. Opportunities began to open up, and their efforts were finally met with recognition and growth. But their success wasn't just about numbers or milestones, it was about the way they had changed as individuals. Jake, once plagued by doubt, now spoke with confidence and clarity, inspiring others with his vision. Jordan, who had often struggled with the fear of failure, carried a quiet determination that made him unstoppable. Together, they became a force, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Their newfound purpose extended beyond their own dreams. They began sharing their story, not to boast, but to show others that change is possible. Their journey resonated with people facing similar struggles, proving that even in the darkest moments, there is a way forward. They saw their challenges not as burdens, but as blessings that had shaped them into stronger, wiser individuals. One evening, as they reflected on everything they had been through, Jake turned to Jordan and said, "It's not just about what we've achieved, it's about who we've become." They realized that the greatest reward wasn't the success itself, but the transformation they had undergone along the way. The patience they had built, the resilience they had forged, and the courage they had discovered were far more valuable than any external accomplishment. The person you become through change, Jordan added, is far more important than the destination you reach. It was a truth they had lived, one that would stay with them forever. Their story was no longer just about overcoming obstacles, it was about proving that growth is the ultimate victory. The story of the Macklin twins is more than just an inspiring journey. It's a reminder that change is possible for anyone, no matter how impossible it may seem. Now it's your turn to reflect. What areas of your life need change? Are there dreams you've put on hold or challenges you've been too afraid to face? What steps can you take today, no matter how small, to begin that journey toward something greater? Remember, like the Macklin twins, you have the power to rewrite your story. The struggles you face today can become the foundation for your growth tomorrow. The key is to believe in yourself, take consistent action, and never stop learning from the setbacks along the way. If this video inspired you, give it a like and share it with someone who might need a little motivation. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this that can help you unlock your full potential. Together, let's keep moving forward.